All right. There we go. Rory has looked fresh in his stand-up, and I didn't realize how nasty his BJJ was till he out-grappled Gracie. He did not out-grapple Gracie. My question, though, is that lead leg. How do you think he does in the Lima rematch, and will he find a way to protect that leg? Let me say this one more time. He did well to nullify some of the grappling of Gracie. He did not in any way out-grapple him. Let me just be very clear about that. Gracie out-grappled him. Not enough to win the fight, but you're asking who's got better jiu-jitsu? Neiman Gracie by a mile. Okay, that lead leg. I don't know, because if you watch the first fight, Lima gave him tons of problems with it, and it's something that he has had a bit of an issue with since. I suspect Lima's going to get after it, man. Next. What's your best advice your dad ever gave you? Jesus, y'all don't even know who my dad is. How do I explain this one? Don't be a failure. That's been told to me before. Yeah, I mean, my dad's helped me a lot, don't get me wrong, but in terms of like super solid, inspiring, Hallmark card advice, he ain't the guy. Next. What exactly does Horiguchi's win mean for Bellator? It's not great for their champions to lose to other champs. Seems like it would devalue them in terms of skill. Also, since Horiguchi is only obligated to defend once per year, what does that mean for 135 pounds? Number one, you might see your first interim title in Bellator, so keep that in mind. But what does it do for Bellator? Look, Bellator took a risk, but don't you want to see them take a risk? By the way, Horiguchi is still their Bellator champ, so in some ways, they get to own the winner, and I'm using the word own here in quotations, no matter what. I actually kind of like that he's been put in that position and that these organizations took their risk. And yeah, like you would rather see Caldwell mature into the talent that he is, but they took a risk and Horiguchi came out on top, and they still get the benefit of calling him the champ and then him defending. If he doesn't defend enough, I suppose that's an issue, but I actually think this is a win for all the parties. More so for Rizin, yes, and more so for Horiguchi, but Bellator comes out of here with a little bit to hang their hat on. Next. Do you think Chael Sonnen will ever be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame? Depends on the wing. Depends on the wing. He's been around long enough to be part of the pioneer wing, which people don't realize. But I don't know. Probably they'll find a way to get him in one way or the other. Maybe through like the Anderson Silva fight or some other wing, but I suspect they will. Next. How marketable do you think Amanda Nunes and Jessica Andrade are? Felt like UFC could have made a good video package covering both for Pride 2019, but they missed the boat on that one. Outside of Brazil, how well do you think UFC can promote them? I don't know. I mean, look, the UFC has some kind of a odd posture towards Ramzan Kadyrov and his fighters. They've never answered for that. They've never explained why Kadyrov was at one of their shows and was he invited? I don't know if he was or he wasn't, or like why you're okay with signing these guys who come from a team with a guy related to these issues. That they sell shirts that say we are all fighters is a glib response to it. So like, how much do they care? I don't know, judging by their actions. But to me, selling t-shirts doesn't tell you a whole lot. Probably could be more with both of them, but probably I think it's a little bit unrealistic to expect either of them to be enormous American stars. So could they do more? Yes, but still have some tempered expectations. Next. Given the questions arising from recent fights in the UFC and Bellator, do you think it would behoove either organization to establish their own in-house development promotion? They kind of already have on the UFC side. The UFC already seems, there you go, to be trending in this way with the new PFIs and some of the other programming. Yeah, UFC, there was this New York Times article where they were like, the UFC is not investing in the future of the sport. I'm like, well, there's plenty of criticisms to make of the UFC. That ain't one of them. They do a lot to promote the next generation where, by the way, Contender Series starts tomorrow, and then Tough, and then what they're building in China and Mexico with the Performance Institutes. Like, yeah, but Bellator is different because Bellator is situated to sign people who would ordinarily be competing on the regional scene and then give them that kind of treatment. But again, I don't think they're best situated for that either. Next. With all the talk about whether Zhang deserves a title shot or not, are people overlooking the actual matchup? I don't really expect Jessica to come home with the belt. Yeah, she's competitive. The question is just whether she's the most deserving of the opportunity. But is Weili Zhang actually competitive? Yes. Yes, she is. One more. And then we have to get to our next guest. How do you think Luke Rockhold and Chris Weidman will do at light heavyweight, and do you think they will be a threat to Jones? I think they'll be better at light heavyweight. Luke Rockhold probably more so, but I don't know who's a threat to Jones, to be honest with you.